Hello, this is Jonathan Moore, and these are my deliverables for week 9. So after the break, when we came back, my lead asked me to start making components so that the player can jump in and out of tanks, and so we can have a player basically enter a tank and assume control over it. Um, my lead also instructed me to um, make improvements to our tutorial level, um, basically having UI elements pop in and out when needed. So not all these components are completely finished. I'll be making more adjustments and additions to them over the week. However, for this video, what I did add is a tank interactions section for the road controller. So this is here. So basically how this works is that when you get close to a tank, there is a trigger field. So basically an area around the tank that if the player enters it, it will basically in the inspector so that the designer can see that this tank is the tank that the player is basically can interact with, and then this can interact Boolean or true and false function will be able to display yes or no if that's true. So if I hit play, so right now we basically have the same tutorial, welcome to games of Graffiti. So if you just do the controls on screen, they'll show the next set of instructions. So if I just go through, you complete the basic tutorial, and now instead of just having the last set of controls just sit there, the entire text box and everything goes away. So we will now be able to have screen elements pop in and out when needed, so that they're not just, you have this blank box on screen all the time, which is good so that the tutorial level will be able to be a little bit more smoother. So right now if we go to my test tank, which is basically just a square with basic movement controls, it's nothing flashy, it's just for testing stuff. So if you can see in the inspector under tank interactions, I'm not close enough to the tank, but if I move a little bit closer, it shows that this tank object is now the tank that I can interact with, and the can interact function is reading true. So right now the controls are if I hit E, my player object disappears, and now the camera is adjusted to the tank, and I can assume control of this tank. It's not the exact tank controls, but it's just basic functionality to test this feature. So you can move around as usual, and currently right now if I hit Q, which allows you to exit the tank, simply this is because right now if the player hits E, and if the same control is to hit E to exit, they instantly pop in and out. What I'll have to do to fix that is add a simple timer later, once we're ready to implement it. But right now if I hit Q just to show functionality, I pop out in the back of the tank, and I can continue to control the player. And I can do this continuously. I can just jump in, jump out, jump in again, however much I need. We'll probably add a little bit better functionality, a little bit more realistic, so that not that the player is just inside, has to be inside the field to enter the tank, but they also have to be looking at the tank to enter it. They can't just, be looking away and then hit the button. So we just want to add a little bit more functionality for the future. So for this coming week, I'll be adding, again, more functionality for our tank, getting in and out of it basically. Probably showing UI elements to display that, hey, when you're looking at the tank, this is the button that you press to enter the tank. So it's not just a little unknown like it was before. Also improving the tutorial level, adding, more functions kind of so that for our next build, we can actually show people and players, these are the controls through the tutorial level. They could hop in and out of the tank as part of that tutorial, and just do some basic movements and stuff so that we can kind of show um, people and players how to play the game, and what are the essential features of the game. Thank you. That's it.